Hello, I'm BX and this is Seed Sunday, a weekly series I run on my channel where I show you seeds Minecraft console edition which are particularly interesting and worth checking out in some way. And this week's seed is one that is more on the interesting side than one you want to use for a long-term survival world, but it will work as of the most recent update. So if you're looking for a glitchy seed with some really wacky stuff to see, this is the seed for you because it has the weirdest ravine glitch going on. It has this weird floating rose bush. It has the smallest roof forest biome I've ever seen. It's really cute and adorable if you like, I guess, tiny biomes. And it also just has a bunch of other weird stuff I think you will all enjoy, and I'll be showing you all of those in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. Like the video if you do, because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do like Seed Sunday. But with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start with the seed and the spawn. So the seed is IBX Breath Cat 65, like Breath of the Wild. I've been playing that a lot recently, okay, but it's IBX Breath Cat 65 on screen right now. If you type that in, you'll spawn just over here. If you type in a classic world, at least, you know, the world sizes tend to change that. But yeah, this is a classic size world for 360 PS3, or again, the smallest size world available on Xbox One and PS4, and if you type that in, you'll spawn just over here in a location I actually do quite like. I was really optimistic about the seed at first because you've got this nice valley between two, you know, giant mountains. It gives you freedom, but not too much freedom. It was one that I kind of liked, but then there's a swamp over there, and things just got weirder and weirder as I went around, until I realized that, you know, although the seed has some cool stuff in it, I think the weird is way more noticeable, and that's what I'm going to be showing you and focusing on most of today's video, such as, for instance, this first little bit of weird that you can see from the spawn, but you don't truly appreciate, and it's the fact that there is, you know, just, you know, literally a few blocks away from spawn, a swamp biome which entirely encircles this roof forest. This is a roof forest which is maybe like 2 blocks thick, being entirely surrounded by the swamp. This isn't the roof forest that I was talking about when I said it was tiny, but it's still really, really bizarre to just have one biome literally consumed by another one. I have no idea how that happens. I think it might be a, you know, a weird part of the console generation, but it is kind of interesting to look at regardless. But if that's not your sort of thing, maybe what is instead is one of the weirdest ravines I've ever seen, because it is a ravine with 2 water pools like built into it. So usually ravines and water pools tend to keep their distance, one will overwrite the other, but in this particular case, as you can see, the ravine just kind of exists as normal. So it's a fairly normal ravine. It crosses into another one, which is kind of nice. Like, I guess you got like a cross shape going on there, or a T shape, whatever you're really going for. But the thing about this that interests me is the fact that when there is a water pool here, first of all, the ravine cuts off the water pool over here, so there should be something to stop the water going out, but there's not. So that's kind of weird. You get still water, which is always bizarre to look at, and you just get this very, very, you know, strange ravine over here. But then, so the ravine cuts off the water pool over here, but then for some reason, when you go a little bit further away, the water pool, and not even the water itself, just some dirt attached to the water pool, cuts off the ravine entirely, which is so bizarre to look at, because then you just have these like 4 blocks of just, you know, dirt going all the way down. And it's kind of like when a village generates near a you know, ravine, but it is a water pool's nearby surrounding blocks. It's very, very strange, and you don't see this all the time, and for some reason, this seed has it. Yeah, again, just with the random surrounding blocks, and you can dig down through this if you really want to. You can do whatever you want with it. It's just a little bit strange that this does exist right next to the ravine, but it's something that you might find kind of useful. I went too far down, didn't I? It's something you might find kind of useful as a way to get down enough, but, you know, maybe put a ladder through there or something. I don't know for certain, but it's weird, and it might be your thing. So yeah, as well as this weird ravine glitch, there is a Savanna Village found just nearby. It's kind of a weird Savanna Village, but it's not too weird. I feel like most villages are glitched in some way, but this one's, you know, kind of a particular fault is this bit of missing ground right here, because, again, a cave generated in the way. It's kind of strange, but again, it's just, it's one of the many faults of this seed, and it might be worth checking out if you like villages, because this is a fairly nicely sized village. It has lots of stuff, but again, it's just one of the weird faults on this seed, like this next one, which is to do with this birch forest end biome. So, birch forests are fairly rare, I guess, comparatively compared to some other biomes, and birch forests with the end variant, so the mountains and the tall trees, are really cool to check out when they do spawn, because again, it's just a new weird experience. I like it. They're rare, but like not too rare and not too, I guess, common. But yeah, the thing about this one that I find really interesting is the fact that it's covered in rose bushes just over here, which is kind of, you know, fine and stuff, but then one of the rose bushes decided to generate a little bit away from there in the sky over there. So there is a floating 5 set of dirt blocks, the only floating blocks as far as I can tell in the very, very nearby area, but for some reason on top of there is a rose bush, so there's this beautiful floating rose bush which just gives you a nice view of the whole place, and it might be worth your time, or maybe you leave it there forever and you just confuse people that join your world. I like it regardless, and I think it's kind of cool. Let's remove the blocks below it, and oh, isn't that nice? It's a staircase. So yeah, that is the floating rose bush, another random part of the seed which I hadn't really properly seen before, and that you get from this birch forest end biome, which again, they're always cool biomes, and it's pretty cool and worth checking out regardless in my opinion. opinion. So, as well as that stuff, if you head further and further to the north, you'll find, again, the biomes overlap with each other in really weird, inconsistent ways, time after time after time. So, also, by the way, there's a witch's hut over here, or a swamp temple, as I like to call them. So, good opportunity for a witch and whatnot. But this one doesn't properly exist inside the swamp biome, or it kind of does, but it exists right at the edge of the birch forest. Again, it's just really, really weird stuff that exists there. It's one of the void examples. But then you look at everything else around here, and you can see how the swamp kind of just goes in and out in very bizarre places. And it makes me wonder if maybe the swamp biome is slightly glitched as of, again, TU50, TU49 right now on Minecraft console, because a lot of weird things happen. Like, again, look at this, for instance, there's a river going through here, like down into the... It's weird stuff, is what I'm saying, and it's something that might be worth checking out your time. So, as well as that, we've got this weird little thing in the top left corner. Lots of birch forest, which, again, might be your thing. I like birch trees. If you do too, then you've got so many you can chop down here, and then make, like, a giant birch mansion out of or something. I don't know, might be your sort of thing. And then another weird example of, like, biomes overlapping. And then, finally, we've got one of my favourite things I've ever seen on any seed, because it's so strange, but a little cute, in my opinion, because it is a roof forest biome. So this is the roof forest found just over here. As you can see, it's a dark oak, and you're familiar with the trees, I'm pretty sure. But the cool thing about this, roof forest is the fact that it is so tiny. Because look at the size of this thing. It is maybe like 20 blocks with a single tree, and this is an entire roof forest biome. That's right. This entire thing right here is a biome in and of itself. I have no idea. Let's drink the night vision potion. It makes things look a little bit nicer. But yeah, I have no idea how this came to exist in the first place. I have no idea why it's even possible for a biome to generate this small, but it does exist right there because it is cut off by the, I think it's the shallow ocean biome, and also by a swamp. Again, random swamp biome over here with no trees to speak of. It's just in the ocean. A little bit bizarre. But then we've got another one over here, also very tiny. I mean, this one would be notably small by itself, but then you have that one over there just overshadowing it. Another tiny little forest thing, which is, again, kind of bizarre because if you look at this thing, it's a roof forest in this part, but it's not roof forest colored, so that's bizarre. And then there's regular trees. And I don't know what's going on here. It's a weird biome. It's got clay. It's got all the things that you might want from a weird isolated biome. And if you want to be... By the way, let me just say that the entire top of the seed is kind of trash if you're looking for a regular survival world, because it is just a, it's an ocean that connects nothing to nowhere. So if you want to be in the middle of an ocean, that's great. But I wouldn't recommend staying here if you are doing this in survival. Instead, I'd recommend going to the northeast corner of this map, the top right, I guess, of the map, because there is a desert temple found here. The desert temple kind of blends into one of the mountains, so make sure you keep your eye out for it. But if you do go inside this thing, I haven't done so yet, you'll find yourself lots of free loot, like, for instance, an enchanted book with Unbreaking. Oh, that's a good one. Such as some bones and some rotten flesh and some horse armor, such as apples and bones and iron horse armor. All good stuff that you can get from over here. Honestly, Unbreaking is good enough by itself for me. Entirely recommend coming here just for the chance of Unbreaking, because that's a pretty darn nice enchantment. And then there's also a random floating sand block nearby. Again, no idea why it's just a single block in the nebulous sea of nothing, but it is a thing that exists here. If you like rare coincidences that aren't really too amazing, then good news, we've got the desert well. It's a well in the desert. It has water in it. It's so exciting. But more excitingly than, like a random rare structure, is, because they are a 1 in 1,000 chance, is the Savanna Village at number 2 over here. So yeah, this second Savanna Village is very, very tiny, but it might be your sort of thing because, again, you only get like 3 or 4 villages, and they'll mostly be, interrupted by this swamp over here, which again interrupts one more biome, except this time the Savanna interrupts the swamp, so you get this like weird desert swamp tree. It's weird stuff. Might be worth checking out if that's your thing. And then finally, that brings us all the way around back to the start of the seed, but there is a random mob spawner I found over here, and I really like this mob spawner because there's a bunch of mob spawners on this seed. Fun fact, by the way, there's a bunch of mob spawners on this seed, but this particular one I like because it contained a name tag, an enchanted book, a fairly okay one too, but then also it contained a golden apple, lots of, also beetroot seeds, which is just a lot of rare, cool stuff, all found at once, all found in this one place, and it's worth checking out for watermelons too, by the way. Like, all the things you might want from a seed that are rare and hard to find are found at these locations, this coordinate right here. So if you check out the seed just to see how weirdly broken it is, maybe that's worth checking out too. Also, if you are trying to see how broken the seed is, over here, there should be a second desert temple. I have no idea why there is not. Again, You're gonna have to just trust me that there should be one here. You know, I don't say that all the time, but there should be a desert temple here. So if you play on like PlayStation or Wii U and maybe one spawns, then that's a nice little bonus too. And also, if you are playing on any platform and you don't see it, dig around these locations, try and find the desert temple, because I looked around on the Xbox One, it clearly is not there, but maybe for you it is. I don't know for certain, but I figured I would mention that in case that is your sort of thing. But I hope you did all enjoy this week's Seed Sunday. I hope you do all like the weird glitches and stuff. If you do all like it, like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let us know you do like Seed Sunday, share the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. I'm going to go back to playing Breath of the Wild for just a bit now, I think. I hope you all enjoy your days, because I'll see you all next time. Bye!